Hello everyone, Beardedsnowlygo'S here, and today I'm going to bring you my post-crossover breakers and Supreme Darkness deck profile. Uh, I know it's kind of a long time coming and a lot of people have been asking, but thank you all for being patient with an issue of time restraint and waiting for certain cards to get in the mail. It took a lot longer than expected to make this, but I'm happy to finally be sharing this with you guys. Alright, let's get into it without any further ado. Some cards obviously are going to be the same. The bread and butter flu cards are going to have 3 Rabina, 3 Eaglin, 1 Stree, 1 Toucan. That's all that I'm playing for the small birds. For the big birds, again, same bread and butter as usual. We have 2 Empen, we have an Apex Avion, and Ryza. That's all for the big birds. For the rest of the Flu engine specifically, we have 3 Advent, essentially our 4th Advent. Favorite card in the deck wins, and our trap. Gotta make sure that we're playing during both turns. Alright, as far as hand traps, same as usual. There will be a difference in this deck profile eventually, I promise, but, you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Some people are saying that Shifter isn't really as good as it has been in previous formats. While I do understand what they're saying, I feel like, specifically for Flu, cards like Imperm, or not Imperm, I'm sorry, Veiler, Droll, Ghost Ogre, they're still everywhere. And more, you know, there's essentially more protection from those hand traps because, especially in regards to Droll, that's still a turn ender, so why not? Also, really quick in regards to Shifter, there are certain cards, obviously with Malice, it does nothing but help them, but with Ryziel, there are certain cards that, obviously, I think it's Ryziel X has to send a card from the extra deck to the graveyard. And I believe Sword as well. Not to mention when the new Twin Moons comes out in Suda, it has to be sent to the graveyard. So there are situations where Shifter does come up that's not just defensive. It definitely hurts the grind game and the recovery of Ryziel, which obviously is the best deck in the game right now. Oh, these should have been earlier. Sorry, everyone. Obviously, 3 map. Let's not forget about 3 map. As far as the Flu engine, thought something looked a little off there. Alright, now for the power spells, we are still going into we're still playing a going second variant. So, one of the most important cards of the deck is Thrust, and then all of Thrust targets. We have a 4th map, we have a Prod of Prosperity, thank you Tempai Dragon for that. We have 3 Duality, and instead of Extravagance, Talents. I'm going to go over the rest of the Thrust targets, and then I'll go over why you're not going to see Extravagance here. I have Change of Heart, Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, you got 2 Dark Ruler, Evenly Matched, and can't forget about the Feather Storm. So originally, I believe in the last deck profile, I had 2 Duality, 2 Extravagance. If I'm being completely honest, Extravagance has been doing more harm than good. I feel like Flu, they need to draw. But, I don't know, it feels really bad to draw into. The second card, if you ever draw into 2, is dead. Also, I like to be flexible with my plays and how I sequence cards. And with Extravagance, it essentially, if it's not the first thing you do, the card is a dead card in your hand. And I really am just tired of seeing it, so I feel like the card is very good, but it's very situational, so why not play another situational but even more flexible card into Talents? It's still a Thrust target, it could still draw 2. Obviously, it's another Change of Heart, but it doesn't target. Both of these cards right now are phenomenal against both Malice and Ryziel, especially pairing it with Shifter, for example, for Ryziel, getting outing their Detonator, them not being able to bring it back with the Twin Moon with Shifter is active, or Talents to take a Desiree, or with Malice, for example. Either of these 2 cards, if you're able to bait out the Save Swarm, which obviously we'll get into cards for that in the side deck that just shuts down most of the board. It's just mainly Malice cards. And obviously I love board breaking. And that's pretty much the main deck. Still going second. If it's not broken, don't fix it. I still prefer to go second with Flu. It's worked for me, so why not? Actually, I'm going to go over the side deck first, because it's going to kind of... You'll see why in a second. We have one DD Crow, which is still good for certain decks in the format. We have triple Ultimate Slayer. This is another reason why I'm not playing Extravagance. Extravagance, not like half the time, just makes this card dead after siding. Also, half of my extra deck is Ultimate Slayer targets, so I want to see this card resolve. This card right here obliterates the Malice board. I mean, obviously by itself, they still have things that they could do, but this outs the Terahertz. They can't respond with the Desave Worm in the graveyard, and any decent Flu hand can deal with the rest of the Malice cards. Obviously, Ultimate Slayer, they can't respond with Desiree or other cards when outing any of the Ryzeal end board pieces, so I think it's a very good card. Not to mention the cards you send, it's essentially it's a +1 card advantage, because, or on going even, I would say, in card advantage, because you're getting rid of something from the extra deck that's just going to get you another point of interaction, and we don't really use our extra deck all that much anyways, so I might as well make it work for us. We're going to have 3 Book of Eclipse. This is mainly for the Ryzeal matchup. It's if you don't have Ash, it outs the entire board. Phenomenal card. We have 2 Cosmic Cyclone for cards like Deception, the Malice Field spell, any Straggler Tempai is going around, that one field spell, I don't want to see it, get it out of here. It's still a very good flexible card, and it's great going first or going second, honestly. I still have a lot of Pearly and Raid Raptor players in my locals, so I still play Herald of the Abyss, but this could easily be another DD Crow, another Cosmic Cyclone, or another copy of the next few cards you're going to see, being Featherstorm as another thrust target when going first. Dimensional Barrier goes hard this format, and Simmel Archifiend is essentially Dimensional Barrier for any extra deck type monsters your opponent currently controls, so it's very good into the Ryzeal matchup. And then to round it off, we have the Lose One Turn. I was a little skeptical about this card at first, but with testing with it going first, it's very annoying, and for hands that aren't the best, it at least buys you a turn, so it's a pretty decent card. But that's it for the main deck and the side deck. Also, with Book of Eclipse, it's a defensive card as well, if ever need be, for targeted negation. Now for the extra deck, we're going to start off with my Ultimate Slayer targets. We have Farigite, we have Malong, we have Ignister Pegasus, Intis, Garura, and Aggregator. Draw, and then 4 points of interruption, essentially. Then for the generic extra deck cards that you may or may not make going into Flu, Amina, because obviously all the little birds are level 1s. For when it ever comes up with the cards that steal, we have Moon of the Closed Heavens and Underworld Goddess. Another way to out Towers cards, because that's the one type of monster type that Flu kind of struggles with, is Towers, since depending on the wording of the card, you can't always tribute them away with wins. And then we have Fucho, Downherd, and Zeus for obviously a Zeus line. If it ever comes up, I'm never taking trains out of the extra deck. And then to finish it off, my honorary Flu extra deck card, Typhon. Out of all of these cards, this is probably, or hands down, this is the one card that I make the most going second. With a decent, even with a bad Flu hand, honestly, it's a very good card. It breaks boards and it locks your opponents out of some of their stronger stat monsters and their effects, so very good. So that is my Floowandereeze post crossover breakers and Supreme Darkness deck profile. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. Sorry about the mix up with map there, obviously that's very important. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Again, thank you for your patience. Sorry it took so long to make, but thank you guys. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a good one. See you guys.